25 past the hour. So how are the Republicans who caused, without question, every single financial meltdown we have ever had in this country since this country was not even this country? And now Americans, so brain dead, have decided, hey, let's do it again. Put them back in office. All right. While most of you were focused on, as Karl Rove wanted you to be, on what was going to happen on a federal level, on a state level, the fire next time, booby. Seriously. So what's going to happen? Let me repeat, Republicans gained more than, close to 700 seats in state legislatures, and they now have numbers last seen more than 80 years ago when the last great big Republican fart occurred in this country, and it was the Depression. At least 5 more governor seats, and perhaps more significantly, across-the-board power in legislatures and governor's offices in at least 20 states. Now, that's more than twice as many before the election. Included in that group are Maine and Wisconsin, which the day before the election had been entirely in Democratic hands. Wisconsin. Scott Walker, who's the governor-elect of Wisconsin, which experienced the largest flip in power in memory, according to the New York Times. Scott Walker says it's kind of put up or shut up time. He says he intends to navigate a projected $3 billion budget gap with no tax increases. He also said he's going to remove, his words, all litigation, regulation, and what he calls excessive cost barriers to businesses. No regulations to businesses. Oh, I want to come to Wisconsin and move into downtown Milwaukee and open up a rat poison factory, and I will flush the chemicals I don't use to make rat poison into the city sewer system. Okay? What? There's a regulation against that. Come on, Scott Walker. Get rid of it. I want to open my rat poison business in downtown Milwaukee. I will hire 150 people every 6 months because that's the longest they live. And I want to open a nuclear power plant in downtown Madison. Jesus God. Scott Walker is going to remove all litigation, regulation, and excessive cost barriers to businesses. On election night, he declared Wisconsin open for business. That means open for pillage, looting, arson, raping, burning, murder, mayhem, anything in the name of unbridled, unrestricted, predatory capitalism. Wisconsin? Oh, my God. Yes, Mike. Wisconsin. He also said he's going to put an end to the plan for a federally financed rail project between Milwaukee and Madison. Costs too much for the state to operate once it's built. Yeah, damn right. Roads are going to cost too much for the state to operate, too. So are schools, so are bridges, dams, power grids. It's all too expensive. Get rid of it all, Scott. Tell your people. Build fires. Cook on an open fire. God damn it. Be like the pioneers. Go kill something and eat it. Yeah, Scott Walker says it's put up or shut up time. As for public employees, wages and benefits, goodbye. You know, all those people who have been sucking at the public till, goodbye. You have a state job in Wisconsin, look to see your wages cut by half and your benefits to disappear. How dare you work for the state? You're a goddamn communist. Well, Scott Walker's going to take care of that. Pennsylvania, a state not fully controlled by Republicans for the past 8 years. Governor-elect Tom Corbett, space cadet. How many of you remember that? No, you don't. I remember that, but you don't remember that. Oh, my God, that was a great television program. Go on Google, go to videos, and see if you can find Tom Corbett, space cadet. See if you can find that, okay? Anyway, Tom Corbett is now the governor-elect of Pennsylvania, And he's got to consider two things. A budget gap. They could run as high as $5 billion. And his campaign pledge, never to raise taxes. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'll tell you what, Tom Corbett, why don't you make the movies and the concerts and the wrestling matches and the boxing matches and the baseball games all free? No, seriously. Seriously. Why should there be a price of admission if there's not going to be any taxes? That's the price of admission to living in a democratic society. Taxes. It's what you pay at the door when you go in to marvel at what you're about to experience. But isn't an admission fee a tax? Hey, I want to go to the Phillies game for nothing. That's the Republican idea, isn't it? Well, not that, Mike. That's private enterprise, where a city is taxed beyond its means to build a stadium so that private owners can come in and make a fortune with their sports teams. Oh, never mind. I digress. Tom Corbett. He's going to, what's he going to do? Well, among the steps Republican leaders in Pennsylvania are taking a look at, as I mentioned, privatizing the 600-plus liquor stores that the state runs. That'll bring in $2 billion for state coffers and lay off several thousand workers. Ooh! Well, that's just tough, isn't it? Thought I was going to say the S word, didn't you? Elsewhere in other states, the expectation is to privatize services now carried out by public employees. Like, how about adoption? If you want to adopt a child and you are solid, heterosexual, white family, under the age of 45 and have enough money, you can go buy a baby. Well, of course, buy one. There'll be no state agency to handle adoption. Education, you're a school teacher, there's not going to be any state money to pay you, so you can go to work for the nearest church school. Now, you're going to have to forget that degree in biology you had, and that degree in anthropology, or whatever you had. Forget all that. Your new teaching manual will be the Bible. That's right. It just goes on and on. Troy Newman, who's the leader of Operation Rescue, that's the organization that likes to make sure that women do not have any privacy, and because of that lack of privacy, they are prohibited from removing clusters of cells from their bodies that they don't want. Troy Newman said, quote, "I feel like a little boy on Christmas morning. Which package do you open up first?" End quote. Why? Well, he's so happy because now he'll have all these state governors and legislatures to help him put those goddamn women back in their place. What do you mean sexual freedom, bitch? Oh, excuse me. Sorry. For a minute there, I thought I was a Christian. Ooh, that's dangerous. I know. Abortion opponents are considering pressing new regulations in New Mexico, Iowa, Kansas, where Sam Brownback is the Republican governor-elect. Do you know what he wants to do? You know what Sam Brownback wants to do? You have sex. First of all, if you're a woman, you're going to have sex with no birth control. The only birth control, and we're still debating this, is whether or not you can use the rhythm section. We may have people come over there to make sure that you're not screwing anybody when you're not fertile. Okay? We have ways of figuring that out. We're Republicans. You will only screw when you're fertile, so that you can get pregnant like you are supposed to, as it says in the Holy Bible. Actually, it's a rhythm method, but you see, I'm from Atlanta, and we had a band here called the Atlanta Rhythm Section, and it just generated lots of jokes back in the 70s. Never mind. In New Mexico, Planned rollback. Republicans won the governorship, made major gains in the House. In New Mexico, a rollback of a 2008 environmental regulation dealing with the handling of waste from oil and gas operations. Oh, my God! Handling waste? When you're drilling for oil and gas, you throw the stuff on the side of the road, for Christ's sake. What are you about? We're not supposed... We're here to dig out oil and gas. We're not here to clean up. And if it gets in your groundwater, the chemicals and the poisons that we use, and the veins of oil and gas that we rupture into, if it gets in your water, well, honey, drink bottled water. What's wrong with you? But don't expect us to clean it up. We're capitalists.